Okay, so this is a bit of an interesting video, but just, hang with me for a second. The reason why I'm making it is because I think Pooka Williams is highly underrated. I think he can play. Like, listen, he's, I think like 5'8" or something. He's a small guy. He weighs 180 pounds, and he has no toes on one foot due to a childhood lawnmower accident. So, there are some of those things that I guess I get, but I think he plays bigger. He's electric. He's really quick, and there's just some value there. So I would have drafted him personally, and I would have even drafted him, like, I think he's definitely a day 3 pick, but I would have drafted him at some point on day 3 for sure. So I'm a bit surprised he went undrafted, to be honest. I thought someone would take a chance on him. So let's get into the film study and talk about why I think he'll actually probably be pretty good if he gets an opportunity. So we'll start things off with this play. This one's going to be zone coverage, and the way it's going to work is that there's going to be a play action, which is going to get the safety who I've circled, the one in the white circle. He's going to actually step in a little bit, which is the reason why I'm bringing that up, is because Williams, what he brings to the table is mostly speed, and this play is going to show off that speed in a big way. He is the halfback who is not a part of the play action. There's 2 backs in the backfield. But watch what he's going to be able to do on this one. As you see, safety moves in a little, and Williams just blows way by him, gets open, makes that catch for a touchdown. That's just speed right there. And yes, the safety could have been in better positions, of course, absolutely. But also, that's kind of what speed does, is speed, if you make one slight mistake, it can cost you a touchdown. And that's kind of the value of having a fast player like that. If he, when it's in the receiving game, all it takes is for you to just get by him a little, and now, boom, you can get a touchdown. Whereas if someone just, like, runs a really good flat route, well, then, okay, great. You might get 8 yards. This kind of thing is just more valuable. There's also something like this. Honestly, this play might be my favorite play from Williams, where what's going to end up happening is that it's at least my favorite play I'm going to show in this video. What's going to happen is, it's a handoff, and there's actually going to be an Oklahoma player who's going to get to the outside, and he's going to try and run around and make a quick tackle on Williams. And to his credit, he's going to end up doing a pretty good job on this one, I would say. Like, watch how right when this play starts, Williams is clearly in trouble. He has to adjust where he's running, so he's pretty much stopped at this point, and there's a defensive player right in his face. So how do you get out of this? Most people don't, to be honest. The way that Williams is going to try to is he's going to try to accelerate by moving a little bit to his left and just seeing if he can get through, because there is the blocking was pretty good. Yes, there's the 38 did a good job of running in for Oklahoma, but other than that, the blocking has been pretty well for Kansas. At least fine enough that there could be a potential window for him to run through. So he's going to try and accelerate that way, and it's going to work way better than you're going to guess. Watch him get by him, breaks a couple tackles at the line, bounces off another tackle, and finally gets brought down, falls forward though. That's an incredible athletic play, and to me, that's kind of what interests me about Williams, is yes, he has the speed, but when you look at him, you think, okay, I get it. Fastest 40 time, but he's only 5'10", 170. He's just kind of a speed guy. Should probably play wide receiver instead of halfback. But he does not go down easy. He really doesn't, and he can accelerate incredibly quickly, and those are 2 key traits when it comes to a player who's trying to be an NFL player. And so will the ability to not go down and not get brought down, how well would that translate to the NFL? It's impossible to say, really, because, yeah, maybe when it's bigger guys making those tackles, he doesn't go down. But again, the fact that he has that, it's certainly a positive, and it's something that I think a lot of people wouldn't expect when they first heard, okay, guy who weighs 170 pounds and runs a fast 40. No, he's a tough guy, too. Like, this one's another good example. So you're going to see it's going to be a run. Those 3 blocks that I put on the screen, those are going to be the key ones, and it's going to go pretty well for Kansas. Like, watch, as you see, well blocked, definitely a window right there. So now Williams can, get the ball and run through, and there are 2 defensive players for Texas Tech that will eventually come in and make this tackle. So if you're watching this play, let's play my favorite game of how much yards do you expect Williams to get? Maybe about like 4 or 5 yards. But again, if you're a big fan of this channel, you know that every time I play this game, what you should do is predict more yards, because I wouldn't say this if they're actually going to make the tackle the way you would expect. Watch Williams accelerate by both of them. The light contact does not bring him down, and then he's going to run over a guy and pick up more yards. So again, he's not just some little guy. He can play. He's tough, and he's someone you don't want to go against. So there is a lot to really like about Pooka Williams. There really is. Like, this one's kind of a more traditional play, but I think it still is going to have some, key things here where, again, those are the 2 blocks. I'm just trying to show the blocks on the screen that are going to be the most important ones because that's all you really have to look at. Like, right when this play starts, there is definitely a clear gap where Williams can run through right over there. So that's what he's going to do. Try and run through that gap and pick up as many yards as possible. But again, it's that acceleration and speed that he's bringing to the table. As you see, he gets through that gap immediately, and just no Boston College player can get near him, whereas a slower back, maybe they could have. I'm not sure if they could have, to be honest. It was really well blocked, so it's hard to say for sure. But nevertheless, still clearly a very good play from Williams. Now, I got to bring this up. I always talk about blocking. Blocking is very important. I like a back who can be good in all 3 facets of the game, and that's why I have some issues with Pooka Williams. I mean, you look at the guys who I put ahead of him in my board. So my top 5 for running backs was Najee Harris, Travis Etienne. I have Stevenson, Gainwell, and then Williams, which I know it's different than other people's, but that's because I try to stay away from the groupthink. But the reason why, despite the fact that Williams does, in my opinion, so much well, I still have him at number 5 is really because of his blocking. He probably would be 3 if he was just a competent blocker. I think it could be that. Honestly, he could go all the way up to 1 if he was a great blocker. I think that's how important it is to me, and also how not great he is at it. Because on this play, he's going to basically just have a one-on-one matchup. There's going to be a guy who's a straight rusher, so he has to make that play. But watch how right when this play starts, he gets in position and just gets completely rocked backwards. Didn't matter, ball was thrown quickly, but that's kind of my point though. The positioning was fine, he's just not big enough. Really, that's what it comes down to. He's just not big enough to actually be able to hang in there and make great blocks. So it's really hard to, figure out other ways to do that then. Because I don't want him to gain weight, because I feel like he's losing stuff in the passing game and in the rushing game by doing that. Maybe he can gain a little weight. That might be possible. I don't know. But the reality is, if you're drafting him for his ability to run with the football and, be a pass catcher, not for his ability to block, which means that you kind of have to put him in certain situations. I'm not sure if you put him in on a 3rd down, because if there's a blitz coming, well, now what do? Because you need a back who can block. So it's a little bit tough there. That's kind of a concern, but at the same time, there is so much he does well that he's definitely an interesting prospect, and that's why I have him where I have him on, on my halfback list. I have him in my top 5, and it's not because I just needed a 5th guy. It's because I think he's very good. But yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.